Welcome to the debate. Today we're analyzing a confrontation that's less about just incremental updates in the EV space and more about a seismic shift in global automotive power. We're focusing on two vehicles, the Huawei Maxtro S800 and the BYD Yangwang U7. And these are more than just luxury sedans. They're really architectural statements marking a definitive, I'd say credible challenge to the traditional German luxury establishment.
Indeed. They demonstrate the full maturity of Chinese engineering and an ambition in the electric era. But while both are impressive, they are fundamentally at war over the very definition of status. They present two radically different philosophies.
And that is the core of our disagreement today. The central question is this: how do we define ultra-luxury in the electric age? Is it defined by the optimization of the passenger experience and instantaneous convenience, creating the ultimate optimized sanctuary? I hold that the S800 embodies this perfect human-centric refinement.
And I come at it from a different way. I contend that the future of luxury is defined by radical technical innovation, by raw performance, and boundary-pushing dynamics. It's about pure, uncompromised capability, and that's exemplified by the disruptor, the U7. True modern status, I think, is a technical statement of mastery, not just a rolling sitting room.
I see why you think that, emphasizing capability. But let me give you a different perspective, one rooted in the history of the luxury segment. The Mach Estro S800 defines the new luxury because it perfects the core function that has always defined this top tier: ultimate passenger comfort and a profound respect for executive time. It is, for all intents and purposes, a rolling palace, designed explicitly for the person whose work doesn't stop just because they're moving.
That reliance on the chauffeur-driven paradigm is exactly what makes the S800 feel anchored to the past. It's a beautiful execution of a 20th century idea. We're in the age of the disruptor, where the most valuable person in the car may well be the one driving it, or perhaps the autonomy system itself.
I would frame it differently. The S800 is anchored to human comfort, but executed with unmatched clinical precision. Look at the interior sanctity. We aren't just talking about standard leather here. We're discussing semi-aniline hide that survives a 100-step precision craftsmanship cycle. It's a process meant to ensure resilience, texture, and just lasting comfort. The wood grain is real, meticulously aligned to create this visual continuity. This is obsessive attention to the physical experience.
The detail is undeniable, I'll give you that. But the function remains conservative.
But the function is perfected. Consider the four-seat executive setup. The active, safe, zero-gravity seats don't just recline. They recline to a specific, ergonomic 148.5 degrees. That precise angle is optimized to relieve pressure on the spine and improve circulation. It's not an arbitrary number. It's biomechanical refinement. They've even built in a refrigerator and a rear projection screen that physically blocks the driver from view, creating a private cinema. That level of dedication to the rear passenger's absolute tranquility defines this segment.
You're focusing on optimizing the internal bubble. I'm focusing on optimizing the vehicle's relationship with the external world. My final point on the S800 is efficiency, which I know you claim is its strength.
It is. Time optimization is the ultimate modern luxury. The S800's 5C supercharging ability is revolutionary. Charging from 10 to 80% in just 12 minutes radically alters vehicle logistics. You minimize the friction of ownership. That turnaround speed is the crucial metric for the busy executive. Infrastructure is just a momentary inconvenience. Now, yes, it is colossal at 5.48 meters, which traditionally makes it a nightmare for city maneuvering, the chauffeur's problem. But the Tooling Intelligent Chassis solves this by integrating advanced rear-wheel steering up to 12 degrees, shrinking the turning circle to a tight 5.05 meters. The S800 is a sanctuary without the logistical headaches typically associated with such scale.
That's a strong defense of a very large, very comfortable car, but I just don't buy that perfecting refinement is the path forward. The Yangwang U7 sets the standard for future luxury by integrating physics-defying performance and revolutionary engineering, defining capability as the new measure of status. It is the starship, engineered to prove a point about technological dominance.
A point that relies on novelty?
No, a point built on technical extremity. Let's talk numbers that actually matter. The U7 delivers 1,287 horsepower and 1,680 newton meters of torque. This is a sedan that hits 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 2.9 seconds. That isn't luxury sedan performance, that is technical supercar performance, wrapped in a comfortable 5-meter-plus chassis. It's an assertion that this brand is not just playing catch-up, it's dictating the pace of innovation.
I think it dictates a rather aggressive driving style that is, well, fundamentally inappropriate for the demographic.
Perhaps, but the power validates the architecture. The foundation is the E4 platform, or Yifang, which uses 4 independent high-performance motors. This is key. It allows for dynamics that were previously impossible. The tank turns, the crab walking, and the critical active safety feature of driving safely at 120 kilometers per hour, even with a blown tire, because the system instantaneously compensates for the lost traction and power. That confidence, that technical robustness, that level of underlying engineering integrity is the new definition of luxury.
I appreciate the robustness, but my executive needs to get places. Your high-performance system requires a massive battery, which means slower charging or more frequent stops.
My system gives freedom, and freedom is the highest luxury. You emphasize the 12-minute charge time. I counter by highlighting the optional 150 kilowatt-hour Blade battery in the U7, which pushes the range past 1,000 kilometers on a single charge. The true luxury here is destroying range anxiety entirely by carrying what amounts to a small power plant on board. You worry about 12 minutes of charging. I worry about stopping once a week, maybe less. We're debating time optimization versus range independence.
And I still maintain that optimized time is superior to optimized distance, as charging infrastructure is rapidly improving.
But the U7 is designed to be free of that dependence. Finally, look at the exterior design. The S800 looks like an updated version of the S-Class. It has that vertical commanding presence. The U7, however, has a record low drag coefficient of 0.195. That sleek, almost missile-like aerodynamic efficiency proves that the design is a slave to technical performance, not to old money verticality. The S800 is a fortress. The U7 is an expertly shaped projectile.
That brings us perfectly to the first critical point of conflict: ride quality. Performance derived from low drag is meaningless if the ride quality jars the passenger out of their zero-gravity repose. I stand by the S800's commitment to digital comfort, using the tooling intelligent chassis as the superior approach to occupant refinement.
Digital comfort sounds like marketing copy for standard, albeit refined air suspension. You're perfecting hydraulics. We're revolutionizing physics.
That's an interesting point, though I would frame it differently. The S800's tooling system is about preemptive control. It combines high-performance dual-chamber air suspension with an integrated LiDAR scanning system. So the car doesn't react to bumps, it literally sees the road ahead and pre-adjusts the suspension stiffness and height before the wheels even hit the irregularity. This provides an intuitive, almost human-like ride quality. It anticipates and preempts disturbances. It is the intelligent application of complex software and sensors to existing physical reality to maximize passenger comfort.
I'm not convinced by that line of reasoning because you're still fundamentally dependent on the relatively slow action of compressed air and hydraulics. The U7's DISIS Z system is revolutionary precisely because it abandons those limitations entirely. We're talking about true active suspension, using suspended linear motors, essentially electromagnets at each wheel.
But what tangible benefit does that magnetic system offer over your LiDAR anticipation? It sounds complex just for complexity's sake.
It buys unparalleled speed, which translates directly into superior comfort and control. This system adjusts the suspension 4,000 times per second. That is 20 times faster than the conventional air suspension you find in the S800. The result is an eerie detachment from the asphalt. The body is effectively magnetic levitating over the road, constantly adapting with incredible sub-millisecond precision. We've moved beyond anticipating bumps. We are actively counteracting road forces in real time with electronic speed.
But the sheer complexity introduces potential failure points. And while 4,000 adjustments per second sounds impressive, I question if the human body can even discern the difference between that speed and the S800 system, which has the added advantage of knowing the bump is coming.
The difference is felt in recovery time and the system's ability to completely negate high-frequency vibration. The U7 is operating on an entirely different level of physical response. And let's not forget the Disys Z system's efficiency. It recovers energy from the bumps it absorbs. This is not refinement. It is a fundamental rewriting of how suspension works. The S800 perfects the old way. The U7 invents the new way, proving mastery through technical extremity.
Innovation for innovation's sake remains suspect in the luxury space, where proven reliability and smooth performance usually trump theoretical maximums. Let's move to contention 2, the utility of that extreme power. You champion the U7's 1,287 horsepower, but I must ask again, what is the genuine utility of that capacity for physics-defying violence in a luxury sedan intended for high-status travel?
The utility is not just acceleration. The utility is the validation of the entire E4 engineering platform. That capacity for power, that massive power reserve, is an assurance of technical robustness. When you build a system that can manage almost 1,300 horsepower and keep 4 independent motors perfectly synchronized, you are proving that the engineering margins are immense. That level of confidence is status. It means the system is over-engineered for daily use, making it inherently safer and more resilient.
I appreciate the assurance of robustness, but that immense power comes with massive weight and complexity that must detract from overall efficiency and ride dynamics. If power is status, the S800 delivers a 0 to 100 time of 4.3 seconds, which is still blindingly fast. But the power delivery is managed. It feels like a tidal wave, relentless, smooth, building. That is appropriate, sophisticated, and mature for a chauffeur-driven limousine. The S800 gives you the impression of infinite power reserved and controlled. The U7 gives you the feeling of a rocket trying to escape gravity. For the intended executive audience, reserved capability is more powerful than overt aggression.
But the person who buys the U7 is often the one driving, or at least the one who wants the option to drive, and who demands to hold the fastest keys on the road. The S800 is designed for the incumbent. The U7 is designed for the disruptor, the entrepreneur who demands that every technical measure of their life is maximized, even if they only use 30% of that power daily. The knowledge that the capacity is there, the ability to command that violence, is the luxury. It's the difference between riding in a high-speed train carriage and piloting a jet fighter.
Piloting a jet fighter is generally antithetical to a luxury vehicle's mission of providing isolation and serenity. But let's turn to contention 3, the final battleground, autonomy philosophy. Because this speaks to who is actually driving the car, human or machine. I support the S800's Huawei ADS 4.0, emphasizing its immediate strength in software and AI training data.
You focus on software polish today. I focus on hardware capability for tomorrow. That's a crucial difference in approach.
And one must deliver today. The S800 system achieves a truly chauffeur-like quality. It doesn't just stick rigidly to the lane markers, it negotiates complex roundabouts and handles merging with a smoothness that feels genuinely human. That seamless, subtle negotiation of traffic enabled by Huawei's deep investment in AI training data focused on urban flow is paramount for executive transit where passenger peace is paramount. The system is mature, reliable, and smooth, supported by a robust 192-line LiDAR system.
I acknowledge that the S800's software application may have a slight advantage in smoothness today, precisely because it focuses on perfecting existing L2, L3 scenarios. But the U7 is betting on the necessity of overwhelming data input for true L4, L5 autonomy. It uses the God's Eye system, which utilizes triple LiDARs and a staggering 500 tops tera operations per second of computing power.
500 tops is massive, but if the software execution is still robotic, what good is the processing power?
The hardware capability defines the ceiling. While the current execution may feel slightly more clinical, more robotic, than the S800's humanized approach, the sensory and computational infrastructure of the U7 provides a vastly superior foundation for the long-term future of full, unconditional autonomy. It can process more data streams and manage infinitely more complex edge cases simultaneously. The S800 is optimizing the executive commute of 2024. The U7 is designing the fully autonomous transit solution of 2030. You're prioritizing the user experience now. We are prioritizing the foundational integrity of the autonomous platform.
The best foundation is useless if the house hasn't been built yet. The S800 delivers a humanistic, executive driving experience that is ready and reliable today, maximizing executive peace of mind. The U7 delivers future computational potential that is currently underutilized. Again, the conflict is immediate. Optimize luxury versus promised future capability.
And that is the central definition of the argument. The U7 is a machine designed to be driven and mastered, a platform for pushing the boundaries of physics and technology. The S800 is a machine designed to be ridden in, a platform for maximizing the existing comfort paradigm to its absolute peak.
Precisely. Let me summarize my position on the S800. It is the superior definition of luxury for the individual whose time is truly invaluable. It delivers an unparalleled passenger experience, from the ergonomic 148.5 degrees zero gravity seating to the private cinema atmosphere, and, critically, the ultimate time efficiency, proven by that revolutionary 12-minute 5C charge time. The S800 is the modern, bespoke mobile office and sanctuary, designed to maximize comfort and minimize logistical friction using smart, intuitive technology.
And I'll reiterate that the U7 is for the disruptor, the person who values technological mastery and innovation above all else. The Dissus Z magnetic levitation suspension, which provides 4,000 adjustments per second, its extreme 1,287 horsepower performance, and the freedom derived from its 1,000-plus kilometer range constitute the true definition of technological mastery in the 21st century. It doesn't just refine the established German luxury model. It fundamentally rewrites the rules of automotive physics and design. It demands attention, not for its size, but for its genius.
We're left then with two equally compelling yet entirely divergent paths for high-end automotive design, brilliantly illuminated by this material. The Palace, focused on human refinement, versus the Rocket, focused on technical revolution.
The material we reviewed today proves the complexity inherent in defining luxury in a world of accelerating technology. Do we define luxury by eliminating all physical inconvenience, as the S800 attempts? Or do we define it by achieving technical capabilities previously thought impossible, as the U7 demonstrates?
Ultimately, the listener must decide, do they prioritize being driven in the optimized sanctuary, securing their time and comfort above all else? Or do they prioritize holding the keys and commanding the capabilities of the radical disruptor?
The debate continues, leaving much more to explore in the material surrounding these impressive machines as they carve out the future of global automotive status. Thank you for joining us on The Debate.